So if you guys dig on the fiberglass cars, well, this video is for you. I've got my good friend Darren here and his 78 Corvette. Darren, thanks for having us by.
Hey Gary, how's it going?
Yeah, good. Thank you for having us by. We're at the Dragons Clubhouse. Darren's a member of the Dragons Car Club, and this is his 78 Corvette.
Yeah.
And it's got some family history. Share that with us, Darren.
Yeah, so my uncle's the reason why I have the car addiction. And my Uncle Rick always wanted a Corvette. He actually traded a 78 or 79 4-speed Trans Am for this car. He wanted this car so bad. So he got the car in about 1990, and he drove it for about 4 or 5 years, and then he started having mechanical problems with it, so it sat in his garage from then until 2019.
But how old were you when he got this car?
I was probably around 13.
Wow, a big influence. So
yeah.
this car and your uncle were a big influence on you.
Oh yeah,
as a young guy.
Yeah, I still remember the day he pulled in with it in my grandparents' driveway with his silver aviators on and stereo blasting, and yeah, he was so happy. He loved this car. It was his baby.
Very cool. And these wheels, as far as you know, they may be a day 2 wheel, but they've always been on the car.
They have always been on the car. I have picture going back as far as 1987, before he even owned it. And that picture has these wheels on the car. The date code on the wheels is 1977. So there is a very good possibility that this was maybe a dealer installed thing. Whoever bought the car knew, wanted something different than everyone else, and spent the extra, probably at the time was $150 or some ridiculous number to have these wheels put on. But
the talented wheel guy you are, obviously you have restored these.
Yes, they didn't look that good when I got the car. I got the car in 2019 after my uncle passed in an accident, and the car hadn't been on the road since the mid-90s. It had been sitting in a garage that whole time. Oh, the tires were no good and the wheels were less than nice. Rough. So of course I couldn't leave them that way. I had to fix them. So
yeah, but you've done a lot more than that. This car has received paint.
Yes.
Hand pinstriping, lots of mechanical work, new tires, refurbished wheels. You're working on the interior right now.
Yeah.
You got new carpet in there. The seats are being redone. Unfortunately, the seats didn't make it back in time for the video. But can I open it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it is a 4-speed car, 350
it is, yeah.
4-speed, L82. And
that dash is all original.
And it's pinstriped there with your uncle's initials.
Yes, Richard Lawrence Hawks was his initials. So most of the interior, besides the carpet and the door panels and seats now, is still original. The seats are being rebuilt and recovered because the seats in these cars are notoriously bad for the frames breaking, and then the seats lay back further than they're supposed to. And then you can't, it's like driving like a lowrider. You can barely see over the hood. So they're getting redone. They're going to be black with the car has pearl white paint on it now, and they're going to be black with a pearl white inset in the middle.
Oh, very
to go
nice.
with the car. So, and then the door panels will have a white inset in them as well to kind of just tie it all together.
That'll be cool.
Yes, that's the plan. I had the seats out. Kilomat is the brand of stuff I used. I've done the whole floor, both sides. I've done the insides of the doors. I'll do in the back area, storage area as well.
And that's brand new carpet in there now.
And that's a brand new carpet kit. Rock Auto. I hate to say it.
But it's nice, it fits.
But it was $200 cheaper than buying the exact same brand from somewhere else.
And this is all hand striped now.
All hand pinstriped. When I got the car, it had all this, the striping on it was very similar, but it had been done at one time with that, on a roll sticker pinstriping.
Yeah, the vinyl stuff.
Yeah, and then it had been clear coated over top of. So it was failing and it looked really bad. So when I painted the car, I wasn't going to do that again. I had Sean DeKay pinstripe it for me because I maybe could have done it, but he could do it better than me. So
yeah, he's a talented guy.
He's very talented and he did an awesome job.
So he striped this all by hand.
Yeah.
And also we've got the initials on the glove box, and on the back of the car here we've got Corvette, all hand done by Sean. That's pretty cool. I like that. Very nice. So you painted this yourself in your own booth.
I did, yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, I've painted all my cars, like my Trans Ams. You've done a spot on my Trans Am as well, which I also painted.
Yeah. You've got some body work experience and painting experience,
yeah.
obviously.
Yeah, you bet.
Now,
yeah.
there's some stuff in here that we can't see in this particular light. You've got some flags. You've got some neat stuff going on in the paint.
Yeah, so I've been playing around a lot with like lace effect and stuff like that in the last little while. I did Buddy's car, did the roof on his car a little while ago, and I thought when I was doing this car, it might be kind of fun to do something cool. So the problem with white is it's not as easy to make it noticeable, I found. So I found a lace that looked like tiny little flags. And the Corvette emblem is 2 flags.
Yeah.
So to me, it just fit. So there is actually a stripe up the middle of the hood that is green and blue pearl flags. When it's outside in the sun, you can see it, but you can't really see it in here.
I don't know if the camera's picking it up. I can make it out a little bit on the hood here. Hopefully you guys can see that. It's really cool. Really, really nice. Yeah. Nice job, Darren.
Thanks. The stripe actually translates from the hood onto the T-tops. And then there is a small panel of it on the bar that goes behind the T-top. So when the T-tops are out, there's still something there.
Yeah, across the back here.
Yeah.
Very nice. Can we look under the hood there?
Yeah, you betcha. It's nothing spectacular. These cars were not a powerhouse. They were only fun to drive because it doesn't weigh anything.
But it's nicely detailed. I love the valve covers. L82 350. Carbureted, obviously. Very, very nice job.
Yeah, and it's mostly like nothing's been monkeyed with too much. I was just happy the headlights worked properly when I got the car fired up for the first time. Once I got it running for the first time and it had vacuum, the very first thing I did was try the headlights because they can be a nightmare on these cars, but they work like flawlessly.
Oh, they are still the
still vacuum
operated.
Yeah. And the vacuum system is still so good in this car that you can have the car shut off for half an hour. And if you pull the headlights on, they'll open.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's rare.
That's not very common at all. So I was quite happy with that.
Well, I know with Shane's we had that issue, and I think they had to change the pots or something in there.
Yeah, it is a super common problem. But I've done all the brakes. I've done shocks, and I had to... He always thought the rear differential was going in the car, but it turned out it was this left rear outer wheel bearing. Because it's an independent rear suspension, it has almost like a front wheel drive spindle on the front of it with a bearing in it. And the bearing was really shot, like never should have been driving the car. So I did that. That almost cost as much as rebuilding the transmission, that stupid bearing. Which I also did was went through had Kelly Solheim, who's built my Trans Am drivetrain, most of it. He did the transmission in this car. It shifts like a dream now. My uncle would have been stoked to have driven it with it shifting as nice as it does. So
yeah, fresh transmission done by Kelly.
Yeah.
And those bearings in the back, I know I've done some work on Corvettes. It's not easy. They're tough to do. And
unfortunately, being a Corvette, it's like you got to add 50% to the price of everything.
Yeah.
You know, brake rotors, well, add 10% because it's a Corvette. You know, brake calipers, add 25% because it's a Corvette.
There's another different paint treatment here. I don't know if the light's picking it up, but he's got some neat paint work on the bumperettes there.
Yeah, I've been playing around a lot with lacy stuff just because I really like doing things differently.
Little subtle things that really, yeah, there we go, got a light there. Oh, that's cool. That's
cool.
So
that again is lace. I painted the little bumperette black and then I laid the lace over top after I masked around it. And I sprayed this blue pearl over top of the black. And then when we clear coated the car, it got clear coated with everything else. And that's what it turned out.
If you hadn't turned your light on in this light, we wouldn't have seen that at all. We wouldn't have been able to see that. That's really cool. Nice work.
So,
yeah, you guys, of course, Dragons, you've been playing around with Robbie's car with all the scallops. That's all thanks to you. You've done all this.
Yeah, it started out as just putting some lace on his roof, and then it turned into this. So, and it's far from perfect, but we have a blast doing it. So.
Very cool. Well, thank you, Darren.
Yeah.
I appreciate you taking the time
No
to share
problem,
your
Gary.
Corvette. It's got a cool personal story. Your uncle owned that car, and it was really affected you as a young guy.
Yeah.
And that's why you are the car guy you are. And you really see the detail in the wheels and the paint and all the things you've done with it. Thanks very much for sharing that. I
Thanks,
really
Gary.
appreciate it.
You bet.
Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoy the video. See you guys next time.